what you're gonna say. I can't believe what you're alluding to, Max. Let it out. Let it out. What are you trying to say?
This is my hot take. You just calm down. He is a great, great fighter. A good big man doesn't beat a great little man. It takes something more than a good big man to do that, and Lopez is more than just good.
Punches are not made, they are born. And this guy, Lopez, was born to punch. And he's got one other thing going for him, Steven and Max. He reminds me of Pacquiao, Lopez, in a way, not just with power in either hand, but his closing step, his ability to explode. You know, kind of like an athlete in football, basketball, any of those sports where it's not about running a 40, it's about the quickness. It's about the closing step, the burst. He's got that burst. Not everybody's got that burst.
Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman engage in a heated debate over the upcoming Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez matchup, passionately discussing and analyzing each fighter's skill set, raw power, career resume, and overall ability to impose their style inside the ring, weighing strengths, weaknesses, and potential strategies while examining how their respective experiences and accomplishments could influence the outcome of this high-stakes, highly anticipated fight.
New York City, January 31st, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. I always say it, when boxing gets it right, no other sport comes close. And this is boxing getting it right. The best fighting the best. Both fighters believe that this matchup settles the argument about who leads the new era. So what do we think of the Styles matchup, guys? This is a high-speed chess match a la Sugar Ray Leonard or Pernell Whitaker, Leonard and Benitez, or yes. Pernell Whitaker, Buddy McGirt, or is it a Jerry versus Jerry?
Stephen A. Smith praised Teofimo Lopez's quick and elusive defense, emphasizing his lightning-fast reflexes, sharp reactions, and remarkable ability to slip and evade punches even during tight, fast-paced exchanges inside the ring, showcasing the agility, timing, and defensive skill that make him a dangerous and unpredictable opponent for any fighter he faces.
Made sure to show the world that at 23 years of age, I'm a champion, and you're going to have to come take this from me. I'm not giving you a damn thing. I loved his quickness. We know about Lopez's power, but I'm talking about his quickness defensively. But I saw Lopez being elusive. And I love that because it's one thing for you to have the power and the quickness to go along with the power offensively. A lot of guys can look good until they get hit. There were times where he got hit, and there were other times where he was.
He consistently highlights Teofimo Lopez's proven track record of stepping up on the sport's biggest stages, emphasizing that Lopez shows no fear or hesitation against elite competition, and points to his commanding victory over Vasily Lomachenko as a clear example of his ability to perform at the highest level when it matters most in high-pressure, high-stakes fights.
We all know that Lomachenko's footwork is exceptional. It's practically unrivaled. So you could see what he's done to numerous fighters, which contributed to them quitting, like Nicholas Walters and others. He tried that with Lopez. It didn't work. Lopez's footwork worked. His speed was there. Some power, obviously. But his elusivity is what impressed me most. The fact that he was able to slip a number, not all, but a number of those pitches.
He wouldn't let Lomachenko establish his outside foot.
And I loved it.
Yeah, for me, coming into this fight, obviously I always talk to Max about fighting. I love it. I was thinking, and Lopez mentioned it pre-fight, everybody thought it was going to be very Mayweather-Canelo when they fought, and that he would be outclassed. If you look at the first 6 rounds, it was about patience. He was patient. He didn't rush himself. He used his jab, which is something that we aren't used to seeing.
Teddy Atlas joins Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, asserting that Teofimo Lopez's greatest challenge lies in facing one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Atlas emphasized Shakur Stevenson's elite fundamentals, explaining that Lopez's natural athleticism and power alone will not suffice against a highly skilled technician of Stevenson's caliber, highlighting the importance of strategy, precision, and technical mastery in overcoming such a formidable opponent inside the ring.
Challenge lies ahead for Lopez this upcoming weekend.
What challenge? The challenge of fighting, for me, my estimation, the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. Either him or Crawford. You choose it, it doesn't matter. You could flip-flop either one of them. They're the 2 top guys. The challenge is to get his bomb to the target. Yeah, like Customano, my mentor, used to say, Teddy, having power is great. But if you don't have a means to get it to the target, it has no value. It's like a military weapon, he used to say. If you don't have a missile, it just blows up and makes a big hole in the ground. So that's the challenge. Get it to the target. Get it to the chin or the body, which might be a good idea with a guy who moves his head so much, but get it to the target with Lomachenko. So keep yourself together mentally with all that going on, with all the chaos stuff coming at you, and don't get discouraged. Don't get frustrated if he's hard to...
Kellerman repeatedly stresses that Stevenson doesn't just win fights, he systematically neutralizes his opponents. His exceptional footwork, precise distance control, and keen anticipation enable him to dictate the tempo, rhythm, and flow of every bout, controlling exchanges, minimizing risks, and forcing opponents to react on his terms, while showcasing the high-level skill and ring intelligence that set him apart as one of the most technically proficient fighters in the sport.
Shakur is one of those guys and who comes along, and I think this is really the question about him. I said he is one of those. Is he one of those guys? Like Purnell, like Roy, like Floyd, their defenses were so good, and they boxed in a way where they weren't going to take unnecessary risks. They weren't running and holding. You know, I had a problem with the second half of the Haney-Norman fight because I felt like they continue to box. Purnell did, Roy did, and Shakur does now, right? But when a guy has those advantages in boxing skill and speed, and they don't take risks, they are almost impossible to beat. So no matter who Purnell was fighting, no matter who Roy was fighting, if someone would have asked me who they're going to be, they're fighting Godzilla, Purnell. They're fighting Roy. Shakur has that look to me, and the style.
He acknowledged that both fighters possess exceptional skill, yet emphasized that Shakur Stevenson is not known as a knockout puncher. He argued that Stevenson secures victories through precise technique, disciplined defense, and superior control of the ring, relying on timing, anticipation, and strategic execution rather than raw punching power to outmaneuver opponents and dominate fights consistently at the highest level.
The difference here is that they're both twitchy, they're both fast, they're both excellent boxers. Teo's a puncher. I know it hasn't shown up in recent fights, but we have watched both of their careers. Shakur is not a puncher.
No.
Teo is.
Teo can be an explosive, I hit you with a shot you don't see, and you are out cold type puncher.
And talking about power, strength too. I think Teo's going to be the much stronger guy in there. Shakur Stevenson's not a strong guy.
I think he's getting stronger.
Me too.
Yeah,
I was about to say.
agree.
But this is his first fight at 140 though. That's what I'm saying. I'm not disrespecting
I
his
feel
strength.
like, but I also feel like that Shakur might surprise you, Mike, with his physical strength. Physical strength, as we all know, doesn't always translate to punching power.
Sure, of course not.
But when he was a younger fighter, he looked like he could be moved around by his opponent.
Like
it doesn't look like that
Yeah,
anymore.
No, he's definitely matured in his body. But first fight at 140, Teo's what? I think this is maybe his fifth fight at 140?
Yeah.
Something like that?
That's true, but Shakur has a frame where he can put on 140 very comfortably.
Max Kellerman notes that Shakur Stevenson enters the fight with more to lose due to his technical reputation and undefeated status, placing added pressure on him to maintain perfection. Teofimo Lopez, on the other hand, stands to gain significantly as the underdog, facing lower expectations while enjoying greater opportunity, which makes the matchup both dangerous and unpredictable, as Lopez can fight freely, take calculated risks, and potentially turn the bout in his favor with explosive moments.
Is there an advantage there where Shakur is fighting to protect that perfect record, to protect that kind of sense that he's the next guy? On the other hand, Teo is like he can fight with more abandon against Shakur because there's so much for him to gain. And if he loses, he's lost before.
Stevenson has openly spoken about the immense significance of this contest, framing it as a pivotal opportunity to demonstrate that he belongs among the very best pound-for-pound fighters in boxing, highlighting how much this fight means to his legacy, reputation, and standing in the sport while underscoring his determination to showcase skill, strategy, and ring intelligence on the biggest stage.
People think the fight with Teo is either going to be you delivering a masterclass
or a knockout by Teo.
Yeah, are you getting into some type of brawl with Teo and end up getting knocked out, right? What are fans getting wrong about the matchup?
I think the fans is getting wrong about the matchup is where I'm not sleeping on that I know about Teo. Teo's a good boxer. He's boxer first. So we could say, oh, he's just going to knock you out. Or he's just going to... That's not him. He's boxing first. He's going to want to establish distance and range on the outside. and try to beat me up on the outside. So I think that's the main thing. And also the biggest thing that everybody don't realize with me, I could punch. Everybody say, oh, he can't punch, and then boom, crack somebody, and then they laying down, or something may happen to where they hurt or something like that. So I think that's...
Many experts view the matchup between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez as a captivating tactical puzzle, where careful strategy, efficient energy management, precise timing, and calculated decision-making could ultimately determine the outcome, highlighting the contrast between Stevenson's technical mastery and Lopez's aggressive power, and emphasizing how each fighter's approach, adjustments, and execution will play a critical role in shaping the result of this highly anticipated bout.
Because I don't think that Shakur is going to come out and try to fight or take the fight to Teo in the first 6 rounds at all. So if he's fighting off the back foot, if Teo can make it so that he's convincingly, or he's convinced at least Shakur that he may have won 4 of the first 6 rounds, you know, if it's 4-2 in Shakur's mind going into the second half of the fight, or if I'm looking at him stealing those first 6 rounds, then it's an interesting fight going into the tail end, because Teo, to me, is a front runner, right? I want to see if he can carry his energy and his explosiveness late in the fight and not wear down. And then when Shakur starts to open up, you know, can you steal some of those championship rounds from him and make it like a close fight? I think if Teo comes out and does what he usually does, which is try to swarm Shakur early and keep Shakur on the defensive early, then he can try to steal a lot of those early rounds. And if he does...
Lopez is frequently characterized as a fighter who begins aggressively, relying on mid-range explosiveness, sharp counters, and sudden bursts of pressure during the early stages of a fight. If he's unable to maintain that high intensity throughout all 12 rounds, some analysts question whether his output could decline in the later championship rounds, potentially creating opportunities for Stevenson to capitalize, adjust his strategy, and gradually turn the tide in his favor as the fight progresses and stamina, timing, and ring IQ become increasingly decisive.
If I'm looking at the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds, and Teo looks like he's losing those rounds convincingly, then it's an easy night for Shakur, unanimous decision in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Teo is going to bring anything late in the game, you know what I mean, to this fight. I think if he is who he's always been, you know, he's going to get gassed after like the 7th round and then take some rounds off. And when he does that, Shakur will open up and start to try to pick him apart, pot shot him, and do things like that. But this is the perfect fight, narrative-wise, for Shakur, because I've been waiting for Shakur to get into that fight where, you know, he doesn't have the fight where he doesn't have his Diego Corrales fight. You know what I mean? Where you think he's actually in danger. Shakur has been he's been outclassing everybody he's in the ring with. You know what I mean? Then the guys that you think could give him some work, like De Los Santos, I know people hate when I bring that fight up, but I want to see him actually in danger.
Insiders believe that matchups like Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez are precisely the type of fights boxing needs at this moment. Legendary former champion Roy Jones Jr. described a potential showdown as a true skill-for-skill battle, drawing comparisons to elite-level clashes such as Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. According to Jones, bouts of this magnitude help restore credibility to the sport by pitting the very best fighters against one another at the peak of their abilities, showcasing top-tier talent, strategy, and competition that fans and analysts crave, while elevating the prestige and excitement of boxing globally.
Start with you, Pierre. Shakur and Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson getting it on in about 3.5 weeks or something like that. Also on the undercard is Keyshawn Davis. But the main event, let's jump into the main. Tell me what you're thinking.
You got an ultimate skill fighter versus a boxer who's twitchy, and twitchy sometimes beats out skills. Sometimes that's the side that can really beat a straight up boxer to me. Somebody who's twitchy, because they don't fight, as normally as most boxers fight. They give angles, body movements, bouncing around like a Lomachenko would done, even a Crawford does, moves different angles and so forth. That's why they can beat a lot of...
Analysts agree, highlighting that both Stevenson and Lopez bring extensive championship experience, star power, and strong desire to prove themselves. Their contrasting approaches, Stevenson's elite technical precision, disciplined defense, and exceptional ring intelligence versus Lopez's explosive power, blistering speed, and relentless aggression, set the stage for a high-stakes, must-see showdown. Matchups of this nature naturally spark debate, build intense anticipation, and capture the attention of both casual viewers and hardcore fans as prime fighters take real risks against elite opposition. Boxing thrives in these moments, delivering dramatic competition, unforgettable exchanges, and memorable highlights that reignite fan passion while elevating the sport's excitement and prestige.
I don't know who's going to show up what day. What Shakur showing up, or what Tio's going to show up. You get what I'm saying?
Nah, you know, we gonna always Shakur gonna always be Shakur. The offense that we saw from him in his last fight was just, he knew what he had in front of him. And eventually he knew that he was going to be in a position where he could have his way with the kid who was in the ring. I'm losing his name off the top of my head.
Right, I know you're talking about. But I believe he fought that way because he started hearing all the call of him running. He started saying, you know what? Let me stay in the pocket, because he stood in the pocket a lot more than he normally stood in the pocket with that fight. You know what I'm saying?
It took some unnecessary shots.
Huh?
It took unnecessary shots.
Well, okay, right. Mm-hmm. But you see what kind of fan base he got after that too. The doubters started saying, you know what, I'm going to roll with him more, because we were getting tired of him running and skillfully beating people. That gets boring. Like Mayweather did his last 10 fights.
Stevenson's boxing style often faces criticism for being boring, but that label fails to capture the skill and strategy behind his approach. He relies on elite footwork, sharp counters, and defensive mastery rather than reckless aggression or non-stop exchanges. Many fans and casual viewers crave dramatic knockouts and constant pressure, which Stevenson rarely prioritizes, making his bouts appear methodical or slow while emphasizing strategy over spectacle. Yet this cautious, cerebral approach has rendered him exceptionally difficult to hit and highly effective against elite opponents. Though not flashy, Stevenson's technique showcases modern boxing intelligence, demonstrating that control, timing, and tactical precision can be just as compelling and thrilling as raw knockout power in defining fights at the highest level.
Y'all scared of Shakur.
Nobody's scared of Shakur, bro.
I think y'all be ducking
Shakur's scared of his shadow, bro. Relax,
I think y'all
bro.
be ducking Shakur.
Shakur,
right?
you see his last fight?
Come on, the fans want to see, though.
No, they don't.
Yes,
Stop hyping up Shakur.
I want to see Ryan and Shakur.
I've
Devin
not
and
heard
Shakur.
that at all.
Yeah.
I've never
You
heard
wouldn't want to see that?
I never heard. Hey, nobody on the street has ever been like, yo, Shakur, you would be crazy.
Who should Shakur Stevenson fight next?
I don't think he should fight at all ever again, because he just puts the fans to sleep and he's not doing anything entertaining for the damn sport. Honestly, just pick him out of boxing, bro. He's horrible.
God damn.
I'm asking you this. You think Dana would put up with Shakur? He'd be the first one to get kicked out of the UFC, right or wrong?
I will say this. You're right. Dana definitely wants, because it's a promotion, it's an entertainment company.
Okay, boxing's an entertainment company too. He ain't doing the sport a favor, so kick him out.
How would that fight between him and David Haney go?
Honestly, man, if you want to get off to that, man, you're better off watching like Gabe.
However, Amir Khan has recognized Shakur Stevenson as an exceptionally skilled, technically gifted fighter who contributes something vital to the sport. Even if his style doesn't always thrill casual fans, Stevenson's precision, defensive mastery, and ring IQ make him extraordinarily difficult to hit or defeat, which embodies the essence of boxing. While Khan has praised other fighters, including Teofimo Lopez, for their raw power and aggression, he equally respects Stevenson's elite abilities, understanding that many fans misinterpret tactical, defensive brilliance as boring. At the highest levels, the ability to slip punches, control distance, and outthink an opponent reflects true mastery. Stevenson's technique, strategic execution, and consistent success against top-tier competition demonstrate that there is profound beauty in skill, strategy, and intelligence, not just in knockouts or flashy offense.
Think about the criticism that Shakur gets. Like, people say that he's
boring and all that.
he's not entertaining.
I mean, look, he's like an Andre Ward style. Andre Ward wasn't really that entertaining, but got the win. I mean, that's what boxing's all about. So I used to love watching Andre Ward fight because it was so punch perfect. I watched his footwork, how he moved to the right, to the left, and I trained with him as well, with Virgil. And I used to watch how he trained and how he fought, and I thought how he puts his hands there and uses it as a defense, and then pulls your hands down and catches you over the top, and them little things. So this is a fight that people get, because you got two different styles. You got an offensive, defensive in Lopez, and you've got a defensive.
Stevenson has been outspoken and confident about both his preparation and mindset as he heads into a potential showdown with Teofimo Lopez. Throughout training camp, he has emphasized how sharp, disciplined, and fully locked in he feels, suggesting that this represents the best version of himself that fans have ever seen. He has repeatedly stressed that his focus is on execution rather than hype, believing that his superior skill set will clearly separate him on fight night. While Stevenson has shown respect for Lopez's talent, athleticism, and raw power, he has made it unmistakably clear that mistakes will not go unpunished. He believes Lopez's aggressive style may create openings, and he plans to capitalize on those moments with precise timing and calculated counters. Confident in his comprehensive game plan, Stevenson asserts that he intends to impose his own pace, strategy, and control, dictating the fight from start to finish while delivering a performance that shocks the world and leaves no doubt about his elite status in the sport.
Your division at that time and then the one above you, but it sent a message to the fans. But I think it also did something for you to prove to yourself that, man, listen, that wasn't like my best performance, but I showed you I can get it out the mud. What did that performance kind of do for you now that you look back at it?
Honestly, I think like styles-wise, I think that Zepeda's style is the style that's supposed to give me the most trouble. Like guys that box and give me time to think is the guys that's gonna have a fit with me all night. But the guys who press me and put me against some ropes and throw a million punches, that's the style that's supposed to give me trouble. So I went out there and I prevailed against that style, and now I'm fighting against a boxer, which for me, it just makes it more fun. I don't have to deal with a guy trying to like wear me down so much.
Meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez is approaching this fight with renewed confidence and a heightened sense of purpose, viewing it as a defining moment in his career. He has emphasized that he feels mentally sharp, physically powerful, and completely in sync with his training and preparation. Rather than being burdened by expectations, Lopez is embracing the spotlight, believing that this is precisely the kind of stage he was built for. His mindset reflects both maturity and hunger, forged through past experiences that have strengthened his determination and resolve. Lopez sees this bout not as pressure, but as an opportunity to display his full arsenal, his speed, strength, ring IQ, and competitive fire, while reminding the world why he remains one of boxing's most dangerous, skilled, and gifted fighters, capable of changing the outcome with a single decisive moment.
Mine is limitless, though, so then again, it's like I could always succeed to another level with it, and exceed to it. So it's really just trying to just keep it going, keep moving forward throughout the whole time and throughout the whole process, and mainly just have fun with it. You gotta have fun with what you do. I love this. I haven't stopped doing what I've done because of the fact that I enjoy what I do. This has been 20 years in the making, 20 years in this. And I have so much to do and so much to prove within myself. So mentally, I'm prepared. Physically, I'm more than ready. And emotionally, I'm on fire. I'm on fire with it. Because all I ever did was try to be great. And it's no longer trying. I am. I am great. And it's all about just continuing and holding that. So it's all about just staying humble throughout the process, keeping myself level-headed, and really just enjoying each day that we get, because tomorrow's never...
Ultimately, a victory over Teofimo Lopez would represent a defining moment in Shakur Stevenson's career. Beyond adding another prestigious world title to his resume, it would significantly elevate his credibility and enhance his leverage in negotiations for the long-anticipated showdown with Gervonta Tank Davis. Many fans and insiders believe that defeating a proven star like Lopez would serve as the final statement Stevenson needs to firmly cement himself as the division's top contender, transforming a potential clash with Davis from a highly desirable matchup into an almost inevitable, must-see event that could shape the trajectory of his legacy.
Oh, man, what do you say to that, bro? Like, you hear him, bro? I just can't wait to beat him and shut him up, bro. Tio not on this level. Tio is a high-level fighter, but he's not on my level. I'm an elite level fighter, and come January 31st, I'm going to show it.
You've shown respect to him for his performances in the past, what he's done. He's fought guys like Lomachenko and Taylor. You say that he's not on your level. Why do you think you're on just a different level than him?
Because I seen him at his best. Against Taylor, against Lomachenko, he was at his very best. That was the best he can do. I don't think he can do nothing better than that. So
self-projection.
What I seen from that fight, I feel like I'm way better than them guys. With Lomachenko, like I said, he didn't throw punches for 6
Objection!
rounds. For 6 rounds. So if you ain't throw punches for 6 rounds and you get in front of me,
and you was a fan.
I would have beat Lomachenko that night.
Will Lopez's raw power and relentless aggression be enough to make the difference and help him successfully defend his belt? Share your thoughts and predictions in the comments below, and let us know how you think this high-stakes clash between two elite fighters will unfold inside the ring.